Okay, thanks everyone for your patience. Before we get to Coach Ferentz, Director of Athletics, Beth Getz would like to open with a few remarks. Thanks.
And you thought everybody was done talking about you.
Yeah, not so fast.
I got to take the opportunity on behalf of the athletic department, the University of Iowa, and all Hawkeyes to congratulate Coach on this monumental achievement. I know we all can think about the numbers and 206 wins over 27 years, but it really reflects the impact that he's had on those young men. Over 1,000 young men he's coached during that period of time, and for every single person who's been able to be a part of one of those programs, either in the locker room or watching these games, it's just been really special. And so congratulations, Coach, and we just look forward to many more.
Appreciate that. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
They got you a clean shirt, too.
They did. How about that? Yeah, somebody's taking care of me. Greg did not. It's supposed to be guarding my back. I don't know. So, first of all, I just really appreciate that and best words, and I'll circle back to that in a second here. First and foremost, our thoughts are with TJ McGee. The player is injured today. And, football is a tough sport. It's a physical sport. And it'd be a great game if nobody ever got hurt. So anytime a game gets stopped like that, I think everybody's kind of holding their hearts in their hands on that one. But it sounds like there's some positive feedback from across the street, and things are looking very encouraging. So we certainly hope that's the case. And TJ's back up on his feet here real shortly. So I just wanted to start with that. Just overall, really pleased with the effort of our team. I was pleased with the week. I thought the guys got back on their feet starting last Sunday, and thought the effort was good during the week as far as our preparation, that type of thing. And guys showed up tonight, and I thought they were ready to go. We made improvement, no question about that. And saw a lot of good things out there, still things that we can get better at. But offensively, had a little better flow. Mark looked more comfortable. He had a good week of practice, and you see him climbing the ladder each and every week, and I'm not surprised by that. He's a tremendous young person, a strong leader for us, so happy about that. The defense did a good job of limiting the big play, and there were still some things we could get better at. That quarterback let him outside too often, and the words of Norm Parker about keeping the ball in front and keeping it inside, we violated that a few times, so still some things to work on. And then special teams, a little bit of a mix. Certainly some things that didn't go well. And Drew didn't have the best night of his career, but he'll bounce back. I'm not worried about him. And then obviously Caden Weegan just did a great job, fantastic job. And thought last week he pressed a little too much, was trying to do too much, and just encouraged him to try to relax and be who he is. And when he does that, he's pretty good because obviously he's got great ability. He's fearless back there, and when he gets the ball, he's trying to do something with it, which is really, really special. And then just, overall, just thought we played clean football tonight. No turnovers in the game. Almost got out without a penalty, and had a young guy jump off sides early or late in the game. So that was good. And just, again, our general tempo was overall pretty good. So, eager now to flip the page. We'll go back to work tomorrow morning, get a short week, and it's going to be great to start Big Ten football. It's always special. Anytime you're in a conference, I think that always means a lot. And certainly, we're looking forward to a big challenge here, going to Rutgers on a short week and playing a good football team. They're very well coached, and it'll be a big challenge for us. So just, happy about that. And then, to follow up on Beth's comments, just, really thrilled and, can't believe it, quite frankly. My name's next to that distinction. But just want to start out by saying I think it's a real testament to the university and to the program here. I can't help but go back to when I got here in 1981. Nobody would have ever dreamt any of this stuff was possible. I mean, we hadn't had a winning season in 19 years at that point. So you think about how far the program's come, Coach Fry's leadership and what he did to improve the program and position things. And so, an awful lot of things have to go into it to have success. And certainly, it takes a lot of people. This is not like a small, there's no team sport like football. There's so many people involved. And I've been so fortunate to work with so many outstanding coaches through the years. Think about the group that I joined in the 80s, just really special people. Coach Fry is the only person who would even looked at me at that point. And I'll never forget that, and I'm appreciative of that fact. And you think about a guy like Phil Parker, not to single people out, but I'll single a couple out tonight. And think about Phil being here this entire time, and just the great job he's done, the growth he's shown as was always a great secondary coach. He's become a tremendous coordinator, support staff. It's so critical in our sport, again, because of the numbers. And when I got here, and I think Rita started working when she was maybe 12 or 8, I can't remember, but she's been here for 3 head coaches. You can do the math on that one. And I've never seen her have a bad day at work. And I bring that up in that, I think it makes Iowa special. There's a lot of those cases across our campus. And for them, it's not just a job. They're part of the team. They hurt when we lose and enjoy it when we win. So we've been fortunate to have great support staff. And then, Beth mentioned over 1,000 players. I certainly haven't counted, but there's been a lot of players through here. And then you pile on 9 years when I was here in the 80s. And the common denominator is they've just been great people to work with. I've had a lot of good players, really good players, but they're great people to work with, and they do it for the right reasons. And it's just been fun to watch them, play in the program and then see them become adults. And whether you go back to the 80s or guys here the last 27 years, guys in the locker room, Dallas and there, Torin Young being back here as an honorary captain, that's really what makes it special. So happy, just want to pay tribute to all those players that have made this possible. Our fans have been great. I'm appreciative of that. And then the last couple things, just, I've been fortunate to have great mentors during my time, and some were intentional, and others probably didn't even know they were teaching me things, but just had a lot of great mentors growing up, and started with my parents, and then the family aspect here too, and that's been really special to us. My wife Mary and I started our family here in '83, had our first child. 4 of our kids were born across the street, and it's been a big part of our existence, if you will, and great to have 2 of the kids here tonight to be present for it. So, and 3 of the boys playing in the program, and all this stuff goes back to my wife. I mean, we started dating in '73. I'd known her for 4 years prior to that, and why I asked her out in May of 1973, I still can't explain it. And we've been partners ever since, really. And I think she's only flinched once. That was in Pittsburgh in 1980. I almost screwed that one up. But other than that, she's never flinched, and she's allowed me to go out and play every day. So just really appreciate that, and it's been a partnership all the way. So anyway, I feel pretty fortunate, and we'll enjoy it here for the next hour. Probably go to bed, and we'll get back to work here tomorrow, but I'll throw it out for questions.
This record seemed to mean so much to your players. And I've seen it for a long time, but your players aren't just blowing smoke when they talk about you. They really like you. How do you get to them to feel that way?
I don't know if I can answer it. Just they probably, most of them like me better after they leave here. I hope. At least usually it's about 5 years later. But no, in all seriousness, you just treat people right. And we've been so fortunate because I think we're pretty transparent about what we are, who we are, and what we're trying to do. So, hopefully the right people come here that want to be coached and they want to be worked with. And I think we're fairly demanding, but I think they understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to build guys who are going to be good competitors and good football players, but it goes well beyond that too. And big part of the fulfillment and enjoyment I've been able to enjoy is just watching guys become adults, and that's a fun part about all this stuff. Anthony Huron's down on the field, and met with him yesterday at the broadcast crew, and just how cool is it, a guy played here 27 years ago just happens to be working this game tonight. And a lot of guys that played are just around on our staff, support staff, and it's fun to see them grow into young people and young adults and doing some really neat things in their lives. And I think we're just all who we are, I guess. That's it. And have the right people get together, the good things happen.
David Eichel, HawkeyeInsider.com. Kirk, kind of a 2-part question. What was kind of the emotions when the team and the coaches kind of threw you in front of the swarm? And have you ever done that before? And I guess secondly, you've repeatedly talked about the people when it comes to Iowa and why it's worked so well, just the pairing. Did you ever have a moment or a year where you just kind of knew, okay, this is going to be the spot I'm going to spend, whether it be the majority or the rest of your career at?
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, when when I interviewed out here, like, first of all, I didn't know where Iowa was exactly. I'd been here as a kid, but, I didn't know where that was at any time when I was a little kid. But so I didn't know where it was. And the second question is, what would you do if you lived in Iowa? So we found out, my wife and I found out. And the original plan was to get back east, get a resume started and get back east. But we just fell in love with it right from the start, every part about it. And for us, it was about, professional opportunity, but also the comfort of living and, being around great people. So, my 27 plus 9 years, 36 years, that's been the common denominator. And then obviously things have changed as we started raising a family. So, yeah, you just never know where life's going to take you. It's a great life lesson. It was the last thing I thought would happen. And, here we are. And I never thought I'd be a head coach either. So, that's kind of just happened by chance as well. But I've always enjoyed what I did, and, it's worked out okay.
Tom Kickert, Hawkeye Report. Mary's in the tunnel. Daughters are there. Grandkids are there. What was that moment like for you?
Well, first of all, you got no chance of getting her on the field. Zero. That would have been an upset. That would have been huge. Yeah, that was pretty good too. So that was a pleasant surprise, and it meant a lot. Yeah, just I wish the three boys could have been here too, but they're all working like I am. So it's great. It's just special, and it's great to be able to share with some pretty special people and a couple grandkids on top of it. Not bad.
Trey Radfield, Local 5. Wanted to ask how awesome it was to get this done in Iowa City. I know it would have been nice to get it done last week, but how cool was it to do it on the Gold Out tonight?
It'd been nice, 5 years ago, actually, but, we always remember those losses, too, as coaches. But, that was one benefit. It would have been great last week, but the one benefit was, I think the last time I got interviewed on the field, I'm pretty sure it would have been 2004 after we clinched the Big Ten championship after beating Wisconsin. That was a pretty special moment, too. So, yeah, it was just fantastic. And to be in Kinnick means a lot to me, and I skipped over the Swarm part. Swarm means a lot to me, too. And as long as I'm here, we'll be doing the Swarm. The next guy may do something differently, but that was a Coach Fry, deal. And what it stands for, I think, is a big part of the program. So it means a lot to any of us that have been involved, and I've never been in the Swarm, so I made history tonight for myself, personal history, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Madison Hurwitz, Cedar Rapids Gazette. To have Anthony come down from the broadcast booth, meet you there to do a post-game interview that wasn't on just Big Ten Network, but for fans and the players to stand behind you during that. You mentioned how important it is to have good relationships with players. What kind of a testament does that moment show to both you and just kind of the legacy that you've built as a head coach?
Yeah, my wife threw one out there probably about 15 years ago, maybe, or 10 years ago. I don't know about, head coaches probably should move every 10 years, 8 to 10 years, because, fan fatigue, all this stuff that comes with being somewhere in a while. And she's probably right. She's right about most stuff, but the flip side is we think about what you miss, and that's been the benefit. Having been here during the 80s, there's so many people that come in our building that, I know from that decade. And it's nice to have those relationships and, now being back and 2 head coaches in 47 years. So all the players that have been in the program since the late 70s feel comfortable coming in the building. And, if you do move around, there's a lot of guys that move around. I'm not judging anybody, but there are things you miss out on, a lot of things you miss out on. And so I'm just so appreciative of that part of it too, because believe me, the season's what it's all about. But once you get past the football, there's a lot more to it. And if you move around, you miss out on those opportunities. It's just not the same. Last week, I go on the field, coming out of that tunnel, end zone, whatever, where we come out, and standing on my left is Bob Cratch, who I coached here in the late '80s, and went on and had a beautiful career in the NFL. And lives in Minnesota now, and his son's the linebacker coach at Iowa State. How cool is that to catch up? I haven't seen Bob in 25 years. My wife actually bought furniture from him 25 years ago. Small world. And that was a trip, too, just to watch Bob Cratch talking about furniture and, textures. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But, it was special. That's special. And those are the things that are really good in this life.
Chad Lace, Dakota Des Moines Register, about the game. Where do you feel like you could tell that the offense took some steps this week, and in what ways?
Yeah.
And also I saw Xavier Williams had his arm in a sling. Any update on him, and in conjunction, is there any chance Kamari could play next week?
I think there's a chance with Kamari. I think, he's really made progress pretty steadily. And at least the trainer seemed optimistic at the end of last week, just where he's heading. So hopefully he'll be ready to go. I'll know Tuesday. Should know Tuesday. And then Xavier, unfortunately, I don't think there's anything broken or anything like that, but he's sore. So we'll have to take that a day at a time. What was the question before that? Yeah. Oh, just the offense. Yeah. I think they've made progress, and nobody wants to hear this, but it's just, it takes time. I heard Brian Hoyer on the radio Thursday morning coming into work, just talking about, and Brian played on, I don't know how many teams, probably 5, 6 teams in the NFL. I really like listening to him on the radio. I think he makes a lot of sense. But anyway, he talked about when he's in New England, he probably spent more time in New England than anywhere, and he always thought it took 4 to 6 weeks before they knew who they were. And mind you, they got Brady as a quarterback, right? So they knew who he was. But you think about their teams, how they evolved up there. And that's how I feel about football. I don't think you can rush to judgments about things. If we're doing it right, we'll be a better team after 4 weeks than we were, after 2 weeks. But that's the thing. And I thought we improved in practice this week. And it's not the guys haven't been trying. It's timing, it's rhythm, tempo. So hopefully we'll keep taking steps each and every week, and that's what we got to do.
Take a few more, Scott.
Scott Docterman with The Athletic. Brian Hoyer, by the way, I know you coached against him at Michigan State many moons ago. But I wanted to ask you about meeting with Lisa Bluter in the tunnel.
Yeah.
I believe you were there for her when she set the Big Ten coaching record previously. And I know you guys, I think it was at an I Club where she had just retired, and it was very an emotional moment. Kind of, what was your relationship like with Lisa, and do you guys feel kind of a kinship because you've been here for a long time and also had so much success?
So last April, when did she resign? Was that April? Late April? Like late at the end of April, right? She called Sunday night just to let me know it was going to be announced on Monday, which I really appreciate. And so that was Sunday night. We talked on the phone. It was a Tuesday or Wednesday. We saw each other in Des Moines at the I Club. My first question was, why are you here? You're not working anymore. That's stupid. And then secondly, I looked at her and I said, you already look 20 years younger than you did on Sunday when you were working. But so, she got here. I started in, I guess technically it was New Year's Eve day, but I went through a season, and then Lisa got hired. So we basically got here pretty much the same time. The only difference was she was pregnant and I wasn't. She was pregnant with Hannah actually at that time, just to put it in perspective. But I think we've always gotten along really well, and I think all the coaches here do. There's a real mutual respect in the department, always has been. There was in the 80s as well. But I've always admired Lisa and the way she coaches, the way she conducts herself, and Dave's a great guy. So I think there's been a two-way go. We I think each think what we do is okay. It was pretty special to see her. Yeah, that was great.
We'd be here all night. We'll do one more though, Shannon.
Coach, how do you take this all in?
Yeah, probably, that song Glory Days, right? I mean, everybody knows that one, right? I was actually listening to it the other day when I was walking. I'm like, but when it's all time, there's time to do all that stuff. And typically, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Maybe my wife and I'll go out to dinner during the bye week, something like that. But, right now it's just me good to get back into this season. And that's been one thing. Not to minimize this, but you don't want to take away from this team and this year. And you get one chance at every season with every team that you coach. And, I'm looking forward to getting the focus back on that. And I appreciate the way the guys were tonight. That was special. But, we still got work to do in front of us, and it's, really looking forward to that opportunity. But, at some point we'll take some time and think about this stuff. But it's still pretty surreal, quite frankly. Okay, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
For being here. Thank you. Thank you.